Hello. I tried to give you a sign that we were gonna go live,
Yeah.
but
We were sleeping on a
hello.
post.
No, that's fine. I know you guys have worked so hard for the past 2 days. Also, I think there's an echo.
There's a loop somewhere.
There's a loop somewhere. Let's see here. Do you
Oh
have
wait.
me? Is it you have us on YouTube? You're watching yourself on YouTube right
Yeah,
now?
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a loop somewhere.
Yep.
Okay,
That's
it's
the
better
loop.
now.
That
That was
was
an
Nils
exciting
loop.
start.
Exciting start to a wonderful month, I would say, of a lot of cool news coming out from Free League. But I wanted to first welcome everyone in chat, but also people who will be watching this perhaps later. You're all welcome to the League Lounge episode 2, official episode 2, unofficial episode 3. Kosta and Nils, you're back with me talking about
Yay.
Coriolis, the Great Dock, because the Kickstarter, it went live yesterday, or was it
It
2 days
went
ago?
live.
Yeah.
It went live, and we're kind of tired today because it was a long week and a long day yesterday, but it's been really, really fun.
We're
And
happy too.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
happy. We're happy but
Overwhelmed
tired.
with
Happy
the
but tired.
support.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's been mind blowing, but we're kind of low on energy right now.
Oh, for sure. You guys are at. You guys have already. I mean, you have over. You have almost have 4,000 backers already. It's been less than it's been less than a day. 24 hours. That's
Yeah.
pretty darn impressive. Good. I mean, I was gonna say good luck, but no. It's the other thing you say when you actually already had your luck. Well done.
Good
You
riddance.
guys. Good riddance. Yeah. Whew.
No, but we're seriously,
yeah.
we're it's very heartening to see.
Yeah.
For this game in particular, as this is, I mean, all our games are dear to us, but
Yeah.
this might be a bit more than others in some cases.
Yeah.
So
We started with this game.
yeah,
Oh,
so it's
right.
great
Yeah.
to be back.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into like asking a couple of warm up questions regarding the
Yeah.
Kickstarter, which is from Alvino. Will the dice be engraved? It doesn't say in the Kickstarter. And oh,
Good question.
yes.
And
Good question.
the answer is yes, they will be. They will
Nice.
be engraved and they will be lovely. They're
Yeah.
designed by our colleague Christian Ganot, and they're like this asteroid black, and it's almost golden,
Yeah.
golden beige.
Sun gold.
I don't know, sun kissed. Yeah, so they will be engraved and they will be lovely.
Yeah.
We think.
Okay, the other Kickstarter perks and things like that. We have a lot of questions regarding the Quickstart. That when that one might be coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we aim to have it out tomorrow. We're finishing
nice.
today.
Yeah.
Putting the finishing touches on the adventure.
Yes, because
And some proofing.
they I don't know if you know, but people want to play it, and they even have a German live stream. I'm trying to find that question now.
That's on
but
Friday.
It's on Friday, exactly. So no pressure, but you will disappoint a lot of Germans if you don't release it.
It should be playable from tomorrow, hopefully. I mean,
Yeah.
things can still happen, but it will be in just a couple of days
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you know? Actually, I'm playing it on Friday night as well, but privately, not on a live stream anywhere. But
Nice.
and I'm excited to see what you guys have been cooking up.
Are you playing as a player or as a GM?
No, a player. I don't have the bandwidth right now to do anything. Like I told specifically my friend who really wanted to play. I also wanted to play, but he wanted to play, and he asked, and I was like, as long as I can play, as long as you give me the character, you tell me all the rules as we're playing, because I just want to drink my beer and play, enjoy the setting.
That
Sounds excellent.
Sounds perfect to me.
Yeah. Which is my segue to my next question, which is about the setting. We have here from Kevin Grubb. He would love to hear more about the settings factions. Coriolis 1 felt very grounded with the political interplay of the various factions. But I know you guys are excited about the setting, so please. The scene
Take
is
it away,
yours.
Nils.
I was
As
just
you
going to
do.
say, take it away, Costa.
Nah.
But okay. Well, so the settings, the factions in the Great Dark, they're fewer than in the Third Horizon. So we have 5 main factions, and as the society in this game has evolved for 200 years, and there's a new setting. They're based on this asteroid city called Ship City. The factions have kind of evolved into what is needed to survive in this environment. So the old factions kind of mutated and went together and created new organizations. And the 3 main guilds, which are the ones that are responsible for the survival of this new civilization. And the first one is the Navigators Guild. The Navigators are kind of the most powerful guild. They're big on intrigue, on science and exploration, space, ship construction, stuff like that.
Navigating the Great Dark, how to do it.
Yeah, but they're also kind of like the administrators of Ship City and the civilizations. Then there's the gardeners. The gardeners are a strange bunch because they've tend all the bloom and the flowers and the forest to produce food and air for this civilization. But they also they kind of experiment a lot, and are very involved in the culture scene of Ship City, and they might have some clandestine labs that do some strange substances that as well. So they're kind of one of the 3 main. The last one of the 3 main are the machinists. The machinists are the ones that make the Ship City machinery function.
Life support.
Yeah.
Build ships.
And they see Ship City as almost like a living organism. They have this very mystical approach to machinery. They also are very big on art and sculptures and stuff. So they have this a lot of culture thing going on there. This is very, very high level of them. There's lots more to these. And then we have 2 more, which is the Black Toad, which is like a crime syndicate. But they're not purely criminal. They do other stuff as well. But they lurk in the shadows, you can say. And the last of the 5 big ones is the Coriolites. And the Coriolites is this mystical sect of different clans and families that are very, very proud of their heritage from the Third Horizon. And they have kind of taken the religion, the traditions of the Old Horizon, and made this into their kind of reason of living, and created like a whole world around this. And they are maybe not so powerful in pure power, but in influence and in culture.
And I think that ties to this question from Gothic Magician: Will there be a direct connection to the suggested endings of the Icon suit? Will the game support crossplay? As in, can you take characters from the previous game and let them continue the journey? But so I'm thinking, so these Coriolites are somewhat a crossover from, or like a remnant from the Third Horizon, then.
Yeah. So all the factions have remnants from the Third Horizon, but to the question, can you take your characters from the Third Horizon to the Lost Horizon? We've actually devised a way to do this. But you'll have to go into stasis for a while.
It involves cold sleep for a long time.
But
yes, you can bring your characters over, but there's no easy turning back. So be sure you want to go there first.
Usually in space, it gets a little murky when it comes to that kind of stuff. But it's but that's okay. That's I think that's great news for people who are hesitant about abandoning Third Horizon. Not that they have to abandon Third Horizon, but we have a slightly gnarly question on that subject from Lovely Nader, who wants to be that guy. Why no reprints for the Third Horizon books and supplements? And have you considered doing drive-through RPG print on demand, maybe?
This is a good question. We're not planning any reprints for the old stuff right now. It's expensive to print books. Also, it's tricky having several lines of the same game in retail. It will confuse retailers and so on. So we won't reprint that for now. They will be available digitally. We'll continue to sell them on right through RPG. Yeah. You can access them that way. And they're still in stock now in most places. Regarding print on demand, well, we might. It's an idea.
Yeah. We haven't thought about it.
No, that might be something we could look into. But right now, we're not planning to reprint the old stuff.
Nice. I mean, nice for. I mean, not nice. Neutral response from me. I am not an official spokesperson, clearly, for anything. That is a good answer to the question, is what I meant to say. Here we have. I'm actually interested. This is a question I've also had before. We had a little pre-chat, but I will try. I can't pronounce this name because it's in a. It's but this man who's asking this question, anyway, he is wondering about skills for this new version of the Year Zero engine, and we spoke a little bit earlier. You said that there will not necessarily be any skills. This is like, could you talk a little bit about? I guess a little bit about like how the mechanics will work for this, like talents, skills, combat.
So what we've done now is that we merged that which was called talents and skills in previous Year Zero engine rules to one thing called talents. So you will have more sort of skills to choose from that won't be as broad as they used to be. You won't have like dexterity. Instead, you will have rune delving or acrobat or something else. You will have talents that are the same as they used to be, like fast reflexes, and that give you special feats. So we'll build them into one group to make this will give you the opportunity to have more differentiated characters. You won't just have 12 skills that used to be. It's up to 30, 40 talents now in the core rules.
Yeah, so that's one of the big reasons is we wanted in this game to the talents to kind of be kind of descriptive of the characters. So they should almost be like when you describe a character, you could describe the talents almost like adjectives. So whilst the old system had these set skills, which were good in many ways, but they were the same for every character, so it couldn't really differentiate between them so much. Also, we should add that most of the talents have a level.
Yeah.
1 to 3. So you will add that number of dice to the dice pool when you roll. Yeah. So it works very similar to the old system. Yeah. It's just it's one layer instead of 2.
And we've changed the attributes too. So we have 6 attributes nowadays.
Yes.
Some people have been trying to retro engineer that from the Kickstarter pictures. But we've added logic, perception, and insight, which we built into the system. And now you actually have the top level is 6 also instead of 5 that it used to be.
Yeah, so you can get a bit higher on the attributes. And a big thing of these 6 attributes, 2 of them are each connected to one track. We have 3 different tracks in the game, attrition tracks. It's health, which is affected by combat and damage. There's hope, which is affected by pushing dice and stress and horror. And lastly, it's heart, which is affected by blight, encountering blight, which is kind of like a space plague.
Yeah.
So these tracks are built by combining 2 of the attributes. There's a symmetry going on there.
I have a question, and also like a question inspired by this question from Terrier Halo regarding character progression, about the same in the first edition. Since I haven't played the first edition, I don't know what the character progression was like. But how and so my question is, how long would how long do you think you can play with the same character, if that makes sense? Would it be like a 5-year campaign like some game systems, or is this type of game that you go from start to finish in like 10 sessions, or like what's the longevity like in
It's
Coriolis?
geared towards long campaigns.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's made for that. You can play short campaigns as well. It doesn't break or anything. But in this game also, it's not only the character, which you kind of has progression. You have the character, which is one part, of course, which is similar to other Year Zero games.
Yeah.
You will have questions which you answer if you have done something which fulfill and get XP. But then you also have the group, the kind of the exploration group. So you will have a shuttle.
Yeah.
You will have resources and stuff which you can upgrade as well. So there's lots of different stuff you can have. You will have some kind of relationships with the different factions. So it's lots of different things which you will upgrade and progress during.
And the bird.
Yeah. The bird is actually one of the central things.
We had a question about the bird, so we would love
Let's
to...
go bird.
Yeah, let's go bird. I'm trying to find the specific question, but you guys start talking about the bird.
Yeah.
No, but the bird is it is in this setting. The birds actually was found in this system after humanity came here, which is very weird. Where did they come from? So they were found in ruins, and they seem to have a very close relationship with this thing called blight.
Yeah.
They seem to be like some kind of antidote to blight. That's a plot point for the game, but it also makes the bird like maybe the most precious assets for the explorers. You want to add something?
No, that's essentially it.
Yeah, and the bird can do some cool stuff, and the bird can you can send it forward to kind of scan the area, so you get forewarnings where things might get blight infested and so on. So it's a part of gameplay, a part of the atmosphere, and a part of the story.
Yeah, so it's part of the campaign too, and you will get to know why the birds are there and how they became to.
Yeah, I think I saw someone write something about, is that kind of like canary birds in old mines, and it's of that.
That's an inspiration.
It's an inspiration, yes. They also thought it would be cool to have these really colorful birds along.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they, yeah. I was just thinking about a sad cat. sad yellow bird in a mine, and I'm like, that's.
But it could be a hawk too, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It could be an ugly bird, so we feel less shitty about it.
Very ugly,
Not a hen though.
Not a hen. No, they don't count. They produce eggs. You mentioned, and I'm assuming this is Nils, or is it Kosta? Anyway, so one of you mentioned on Rascal that the game is not best suited for beginner GMs due to maintaining of the game's theme. So what the heck do you mean by that? Could you elaborate?
I think the only thing we meant was that it's not a beginner's game in its focus. I mean, a beginner can absolutely play this game. It's not a game that beginners should not play. It's just that it's not geared towards the beginners. For example, Dragonbane is a much more beginner-friendly game because it's kind of the lore is less extensive.
Yeah.
There's
the setting is what and the different mechanics are.
Yeah. So it's only like we're not trying to kind of dumb down the game to do something that it is a culture-rich mystery, sense of wonder science fiction game, just like the old Coriolis. It's just a different setting and focus.
But we will have support for the GM in the Quickstart too. We have notes for the GM, what to aim for, and in the full Coriolis we'll have suggestions for the game, how to bring out the themes, what is important during the different parts of gameplay, from being in Ship City to going on expeditions to delving down into ruins.
Okay. Sorry, I got distracted immediately by chat question here because so let's see here. This is a question to summarize what you guys said just recently about talents. So attributes go from 1 to 6 and talents from 0 to 3, giving a dice pool of 9. Good. Plus 10 gear dice. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and one more thing though. So you have attributes 1 to 6. You have talents from 1 to 3. But another thing we've put into the game is that gear is important. So you have gear dice.
Yeah. And the reason why gear is important in this setting is this setting has kind of this scarcity theme where stuff you don't have enough reserve parts, you don't have enough technology, so you kind of have to mine the stuff you have and really take care of it. And also when you're like out in an exploration, maybe going down a delve in a ruin, when the stuff breaks, I mean, you can be in trouble. So taking care of your equipment and having that not break down is reinforces the theme of the setting in the game. So that's why we added this to.
And Dennis asks, what about mystic powers? You might have already touched on that.
Well, how should we say this? It's not the way it used to be in the Third Horizon, and that will be explained more during the campaigns, why it's not that. So you don't start with mystical powers, but you have the bird that has sort of mystical powers.
Yes, the bird has mystical powers from start, and the group, the explorers, might develop powers during the campaign. Yes, might. I mean, might not.
Yeah.
No promise, but so from start it's the bird that has the mystical powers. So the mystical powers is not the same thing as in the first game.
No,
and that's also because of story points and background.
And the bird is controlled by the players, so the players have agency of the bird. It's not the GM piece.
Yeah.
We touched on this a little bit in the last stream as well. The Middle Eastern influence was part of the Third Horizon. This one seems more like, you mentioned the Terror and Deadwood, so sort of 19th century exploration and expansion. What inspired? Is it still any Arabian Nights in is that a part of it still, or is it more I don't know, the sort of British going out on exploration theme, right?
There's nothing really British about this setting. It is still based on the Third Horizon, the game. So it's based on that setting, which has this Middle Eastern flavor. So that's still there. But what's happened is 200 years has passed. So it doesn't look the same as the old game. Things have changed. Fashion has changed. Names have evolved. There's still lots of similarities.
Yeah.
You will see that in lore as well. I mean, some things are similar, some things are not.
So the 19th century exploration thing is about the gameplay, going on long expeditions, traveling on a single large ship for months, contained together with other crew members.
Eating cans with lead and get lead poisoning.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah.
Or humus with lead.
Yeah. No. But also, regarding that feel, we wanted to. I mean, the first game. This is actually the third edition, if you want to count it the real way. But the main parts weren't necessarily the Middle Eastern influences. They were one part of the game. They were aesthetics, but the main parts were the mystery and the sense of wonder and the kind of the thing that history taking place and cultures evolving. And that's the story we're continuing with this game. So there are some changes to aesthetics, but that's because, as I said, time has changed. It's not like we've kind of ditched anything or we switched around things. We're trying to continue with the core that we saw as the core of the game.
Yeah. What's behind the decision of not creating a Swedish version? Do you hate Sweden?
No.
No, we don't.
We don't. We love Sweden, but it is really, really tricky developing games in two languages at the same time. We've done it in the past. It takes a lot of resources, takes a lot of time from us. It increases the chances of errors. We often have two different games with different rules because we managed to fix a rule in that game, but not in that language. So it takes away from the quality often. So that's why we try to reduce it as much as possible and try to focus on some games that should be in Swedish, like Drakar and Demoner.
That's Dragonbane for you Americans.
That's Dragonbane, yeah. Coriolis is not necessarily. It was originally written in Swedish, but it's not necessarily a Swedish game. But it is a logistics issue. It's too heavy to develop in two languages. And you can look around at other studios in the world. There's not many RPG studios that make games in several languages at the same time. It's very, very resource intensive.
So thank you for that. and I'm sure you will get more questions regarding that because we I'm also Swedish, so I get it. Like it's always fun to maintain the Swedish language, but it is hard to translate. I know. I just released a video on Dragonbane and I messed up a bunch of Swedish translations, so now I have to redo that video. Anyway, best way to prepare for the Great Dark and get into the lore of Coriolis. We've gotten a few questions about that, like how do you prepare as a GM, but also how do you prepare as a player? Is there should you read the old rule book, or is there like, how can you best prepare?
So the new game is a new game, so you don't have to read the old group rule book to prepare. We want it to be a standalone game, so anybody who wants to start with the Great Dark can do that.
Yeah,
and we will have a lot of lore and stuff in the core rule book when we release it this alpha PDF this fall.
Yeah.
So I think the best way to prepare is actually to read the Quickstart in a few days.
Yeah, I would say the Quickstart is the best way.
Support the Quickstarter.
Yeah, I mean, if one wants to, you can delve down into the old game as well, because that's going to be the backstory. But it's the backstory; it's not the same game.
You will find Easter eggs, which will be fun for you, hidden.
Yeah, but we designed the Great Dark to be playable, fully playable on its own. No prerequisite knowledge needed.
Well,
so
speaking of Easter eggs, Easter is coming up, and people are demanding a translated cookbook.
Ooh.
Are you doing it? Speaking of translations in general.
So there is referring to the old cookbook, which was a Kickstarter goal.
Yeah.
Which took a while to produce.
It's a legendary stretch goal from 2016, which was delivered a bit late.
Yeah,
but you should. But you don't feel the burn to make a.
No, I mean fans have actually translated the atlas to the Third Horizon and put it on in our workshop. So they're free to do that with the cookbook.
Yeah, but we won't translate the cookbook. No.
Okay. Well, all right.
There are good recipes, though. There are.
I never tasted one. You did? You never.
It's my mother's pierogies and other vegetarian recipes from Greece and the Mediterranean and other stuff.
It would be nice to taste them one day.
Okay.
Let me see here. So I'm seeing. Did we already talk about are there any punishments for scavenging spare parts or we had similar questions about that too that I of course lost now. But
if you're scavenging for parts, of course it would be the society is kind of a lawful society. There is some kind of resemblance of law and order here. It's not a police state in any sense, but you can't go around stealing stuff without permission. So absolutely, and there's not it's not really, I would say, maybe a game about going around and trying to get resources on Ship City. It's when you're outside of Ship City, you want to find stuff and you want to bring it back to the city because they need resources to keep it running. But it's not super dire. It's not like you're starving or anything. No. It's a nice, cool metropolis, which has this kind of Charles Dickensian vibe.
And it's actually called Ship City because they took parts of the ships from the Armada or the Diaspora that reached the system and used that to build their living quarters inside an asteroid.
Yeah, it's not moving.
On the outside. So it's in orbit around the star.
It's not a ship. It's not a ship. So that would be very clear when you read the actual text. But it's not a ship that goes around. It's an asteroid which is called Ship City.
I see. So it's a lie. I hear what you're saying.
Beautiful lie.
So, speaking of ships, now that the Great Ship Map stretch goal was achieved, can you touch a bit more on the great ships? And if you can use different ones?
So the great ships are the only way to travel between systems in this new setting. When people reach this setting, they realize that they are stuck in one system and can't get away from it without traveling slower than light. And over time, they develop new ships and mathematics to go into what they call the slipstream, which is faster than light stream between star systems. And you need the big ships to do that. You need to bring all the resources with you and travel for months to reach another star system. But so that's and we aim to have great ships in there are different ones. Some have disappeared along the routes to other star systems. So we have a few plans, so to say.
And it's important to note that there's not that many great ships. There's maybe like a dozen in total. And some of them have disappeared, and some of them are out on expeditions. We plan to, at least that's the plan for now, that each campaign box will focus on one of these ships. So the first campaign, which is included in the Kickstart, will focus on one great ship, which will have lots of juicy details about the ship, deck plans, stuff about the crew, about the captain, adventure possibilities on the ship, and so on. And then there will be other ships later on, and they will all have a different feeling, some kind of personality, different look.
Yeah. So the big difference from previous game is that the crew or the explorers and the PCs, they will have their own shuttle and rover, but they won't have a ship to do interstellar travel with. So they can travel in system with their shuttles.
Yeah.
But to go to the next system, you have to join an expedition. And you might, so they bring with them the small shuttles in the hangars or like mites outside on the ship. And that's the way to travel to other systems. And and you also, the three big factions actually have to pool the resources to make an expedition.
Yeah, so they will often have representatives of the factions on the great ships, which provide lots of stuff for intrigue and double crossings and
so that's the plan we had, that we wanted to bring the intrigue from Ship City during the adventures instead of being like 5 people in the ship.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it sounds exactly what would happen if humans ever colonize space.
Yeah.
Speaking of non-humans, will there be supernatural creatures like jinns, dark morphs, etc.?
This is a question for Kosta.
There will be creatures, and they might be perceived as supernatural or not, but there will be a lot of creatures.
Yes.
One of them birds, as we've covered before.
And they have a backstory.
We how deadly is this game from I guess if let's say Dragonbane is pretty deadly if you're like me, and Starfinder is not deadly at all. I tried to die several times, I didn't. So when it's from a scale to 1 to 10, how deadly would you say it is?
I would say it's not super deadly.
No.
This game is a game about, I would say, about attrition. So you go on these expeditions and you kind of get worn down by the elements, by blight, maybe by combat as well. But you pull together and you kind of prevail, hopefully, as a group. That's why the theme is hope as well. Hope and succeed against the odds. So it's not a super deadly game. It is dangerous and lethal out in the ruins. I mean, characters can die. But it's not like a focus of the game that you go into a trap and then you're killed. It's not OSR deadly.
No.
It's just a bit in between. But the delves and going to ruins, those are dangerous places. So that's a big part of the gameplay.
Is there? This is also one of my questions. Is there what's the weapons like? Will you have you have swords or guns or nukes?
Or nukes.
No nukes.
No nukes. Okay.
No.
Too bad.
But everything else.
You will have projectile weapons, energy weapons of some sorts,
and nukes
close
in the
combat
projectile
weapons.
Weapons. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
How can I make my own weapon? Okay, never mind. I won't make a nuke.
No,
No. So the machinists are the ones that build the weapons in Ship City, basically.
I see.
Yeah, mostly.
And there also will be heirloom weapons that people have preserved from the old Horizon.
Yeah, that's a big part actually, because as tech is more basic here and more scarce, there's a lack of resource parts. Tech from the old horizon is very, very sought after. So you try to get your hands on these heirlooms, and there's a big part of actually about intrigue and stuff. And the characters will start with an heirloom, hopefully, and those tech things are both a way of building a connection to the old setting, but also having these kind of items that are a bit more cool than the other stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, nice. But combat won't be the focus of the game.
No, not as Nisse said. It will be a game of attrition.
Yeah.
So it might be damage or combat that takes you down, or it might be the blight, or you lose all hope. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one important thing we would like to say is that the game has 3 parts, which are intrigues in the ship city and during the expeditions, long expeditions, and then the ruin delving. But in the quick start, we're focused on the last part more. Because it's hard to have a quick start with everything.
It's important to note that the quick start, of course, will not showcase the full game. It's as Kosta say, it's a slice of the game. So all of the things we're talking about now will not be in the quick start tomorrow or when it comes. But it will be in the game. Yeah.
Being the Great Dark being a little bit more limited supplies and a slightly darker theme, is it similar in some ways to the Alien RPG? Like, how does it? We had this question last time, I think, as well. Like, how it like was different from Alien.
Yeah.
But yeah. So a little bit. Can you talk? Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
No, but I would say it's very different compared to Alien. Alien is space horror with some survival elements in it. I mean, there's survival elements, but there's a lot of survival elements. But it's space horror at its core. The Great Dark is exploration. It's about exploration, and it's about intrigue and exploration and hope. I would say there's not that much that is common besides being set in space. And and
the question about supplies is that in Alien you have 3 different sorts of supplies. You have energy and air and food and water. But here we narrow it down. We call everything supplies. And that's a way to help us build the mechanic you use during delving, which you will read about in the quick start.
It's also this game is more focused on maybe on campaigns. So the kind of the attrition part with the supplies and so on is not made for these short scenes, which Aliens focus on. For example, your suit failing in power and so on. It can happen very quickly. This game has another feel to that. So there's some superficial similarities, but I would say it's very, very different in play.
Is there anything that's preventing a group of? I mean, I guess that wouldn't be fun. But if a group wants to settle down and chill, like make it into the Sims game instead for like 3 or 4 sessions, would that be? Is there something that's like you mentioned the blight? Is that something that forces the group to move on?
I mean, if you're in the ship city, you could play a campaign of just her tending a garden and selling something and doing intrigue stuff. You don't have to go out at all.
Yeah.
But
becoming criminal lords or whatever.
Yeah, so you can do whatever you like. There's like this kind of open gameplay when you're there. But if you're in a ruin, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can't turn a ruin into your next dream mansion if you.
No, but I mean, you could, if you really wanted, you could start a colony and be a miner or prospector on a desolate moon around a gas giant in the same system, of course. But that's not the aim we're aiming for.
No, I
you
get
can do it. You can do it.
You can if you want to chill. I get that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we have time for one last question. Did you guys see any questions you would like to? I think we've talked.
There's so many. I can't lose track of them.
I do too. But I think there are a lot of them are very.
We can do maybe a few more.
People are very eager about the quick start that's hopefully coming tomorrow. But you said that that's your aim, but no later this week, definitely.
Wait, actually, one thing we haven't talked about, which I thought people would ask about, is the push mechanic.
Oh, actually, we did have a push mechanic up. I forgot to Let me.
We talked about all the dices, what you do with them, but
all the dice. Sorry, question.
Yeah.
It was early on. But yeah, you start talking about the the push mechanic, and I'll try to find.
So what we've done here is we want hope to be a central theme in the game. So the track you use for hope is actually also your resource for pushing. So you use your hope to be able to push and re-roll your dices. And you can actually give hope to your fellow crew members.
Yeah, so it's actually you have this kind of thing where if one explorer goes down, maybe of being too tired or something, another one can kind of bring him or her to defeat by using his hope to kind of motivate that person. So it's a way of bringing forward kind of this, like a group working together against all odds, trying to help each other.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of the game. This is a game where you work together as a group. It's not a game about, I mean, speaking about differences with Alien as well, it's not a game about backstabbing each other. It's not a game about doing that. It's you're a crew when you do it together.
Yeah.
Nice.
And also you work for the best of humanity in a way. So it's kind of hopeful. It's a kind of dark setting, but it's hopeful as well. We don't want to go grim dark. It's too much grim darkness.
No sad space.
No, a little bit sad space.
Yeah. So let's see. Did you mention the other archetypes? You did say that there were a bunch of archetypes, but
yeah. So
the names are not final. We're still working on them.
No.
But you can mention a few.
Well, we have the Enforcer archetype, which is a combat sort of archetype and each archetype has previous occupations. So as an Enforcer, you could have been a SAPTI constable in Ship City, or working as a guild militia, or maybe as an what was it?
I don't know.
There are so many.
Yeah, but each archetype has like a lore tidbit, which kind of what you've done before, and that kind of gives you kind of a connection into the world, as well as like a talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I got immediately.
No, so we have this like
excited,
quite broad archetypes, which Enforcer is like one of those, but then you had like a flavor of that, which is what you've been. So of these broad archetypes, we have Enforcer, we have Scholar.
Scoundrel, worker, artist,
and a few more.
We're hoping to unlock one.
It is unlocked. It is unlocked. It is unlocked.
Oh,
yeah,
goes faster.
Yeah. Our heads are just full of fluff today.
Yeah. So the esoteric has been unlocked.
Yeah,
that was. We're working on that. That'd be fun.
There's another stretch goal called solo play. Are you guys writing that as well, or it will be an outside writer?
It's not decided yet. We will get back to you on that. We will see, but we will try to make it as good as possible. Actually, I think that this game is very suitable for solo playing. Actually,
I was gonna ask about that, because from the way you described it, it could be a really fun, especially if, I mean, it depends. I have actually never played solo any of the games. Do you truly play by yourself, or is it one GM and one player?
No, it's like true solo. So you play with yourself and your imagination. So you kind of roll on tables, and you kind of set up this narrative in your head, and maybe write a logbook or something like that. But the kind of the structure of this game makes it very suitable for that kind of play. So I think that will be cool if we reach that stretch goal.
Yeah, what is the stretch goal? I can't find it now.
It is at the top end. It's 6 million. That's huge.
6 million. Well, $600,000 people.
Yeah.
Because, So and you guys are 170,000 roughly away from that. So if you guys want solo mode, you should, pledge. Great. Let's see. Do we have any?
Yeah,
people seem to be very excited about this game. Is there anything that you guys would like to talk about? Let's see here if you. I feel like we've gone through most of
I
the
think
questions.
we've gone through most of it. I think maybe one thing we could mention is, which I think one of our favorite parts of this setting as well is Ship City.
Yeah.
And Ship City is more than like just a base. It is a very kind of melting pot like kind of city.
Yeah.
With loads
Like New
of
York.
but in a very small space.
Yeah.
And
And different.
Like New York.
Yeah. Okay.
but smaller.
A small.
Okay.
But it's
And underground.
yeah.
In space.
So there's a lot of cool stuff we think that can be done with that part as well, as an adventure base and as a setting. So we're looking forward to the full game when you get to dive into that part as well.
Yeah, all the different boroughs and places.
Ship City will sadly not be a part of the Quickstart.
No.
But
Yeah, I mean, and I'm assuming it's Ship City and not chips, as in the potato chip.
No, it's ship as in
ship.
The spaceship.
Spaceship.
Yeah, it's a
But
spaceship. All right, I see.
ship.
So
it has another name actually, which is a very long and very unwieldy, but everyone calls it Ship City.
Okay.
It will be clear in the
that will
game.
be in the game.
Yes.
Right. And I will tell chat it's an accent. So you guys are saying Chip City, which
It's
is potato chip.
Swinglish.
Yeah,
Swinglish.
I said Ship City. Ship
City.
Ship.
Ship City is the, but I love it. Ship City, Chip City. When you play poker chips, anyway, that's about it.
Yeah.
I see someone saying Raldanash is Ship City, the new Jack Room. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very
kind of.
inspired.
It's very inspired by Jack Room.
I mean, we started writing the Rimward Reach in old Coriolis.
Yeah.
And that inspired us a lot.
Yeah, but I think Ship City is a bit cooler, but it is very much inspired. It was kind of the blueprint for it.
Yeah.
Nice.
But we have other inspirations since then.
Sheep City, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Cheap cities. Well, it might be other factions.
Sheep City. Oh, this
Sheep
will never
City.
die.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for this League Lounge. Next League Lounge will be in a month from now, and I will figure out what we'll talk about then. Hopefully, maybe we'll be having Nils and Kosta here again for some more Coriolis stuff. And also we will do this monthly, but in June, we haven't figured out all the details yet. We have the ambition of doing it live from Stockholm.
Yes.
I'm going to Stockholm. So I'm hoping to actually come to you guys' office and we can do something
you
there.
might see a glimpse of our office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
Our huge office.
Last time I was there, I was
Not huge.
9 months pregnant, and I remember not finding it. And then, anyway, it doesn't matter. That's completely irrelevant. But this has been great, and I'm so congratulations again on the successful Kickstarter. Let's get to 600,000 so you guys can get the solo rules out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Sky's the limit.
And we're all very excited and eager to play the Quickstart. I'm also waiting. I want to play it on Friday. I have a session planned, so hopefully we can get it by then. But no pressure, guys. It's not like
We should mention regarding the Quickstart. There will be a link, of course, with that. But we want feedback on that. We want feedback on everything. It's still like a work of progress. So we are open. Our ears are open.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, that's great, guys. And we'll talk soon, guys. Thanks, chat, again for showing up. Even my mom was here, so I think you guys have fans all over the world. And this has been great. So thank you so much. Have a good one, and bye.
Thanks,
chat.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Are we off?
Should I leave the studio? I leave the studio.
I'm thinking we might still be.
I'm leaving the studio now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.